Wakefield did earn good field position. They had a few repeat sets from decent kicks into the in-goal area, and this time they did score the first try. They took advantage of the same weaknesses in numbering and position on the left side defence. Bibby and French not quite being a great pair defensively yet. That Saints took advantage of to hurt Wigan, so they'd been watching the tape of that and did a good job there. But like I say, Thomas Mins diving finish into the corner, but he landed on his face and then had a HIA, which was a real shame for him. But then after that, it was the Wigan show, and I was so excited. We saw 2020 Bevan French turn up. Have you seen the highlights? Have you seen the first try by Bevan French?
Do you know, I was running out of time, and this was the next one to watch when you called. So then I thought, well, I'm sure Mark will wax lyrical for the both of us.
Well, if you remember back to all those tries he scored from long range, where he threw a massive dummy and then just ran through a gap that was created from it. Well, This time, the player who he's dummying to is Jay Field, so they're already terrified of him anyway. So it makes it even easier in a way. But he got through the gap, turned Gaskell inside out. Having said that, based on the rest of the performance from Lee Gaskell, I'm not sure he even would have tried to tackle. Honestly, I'd be sacking Lee Gaskell for his lack of effort in this match if I was the Wakefield coach. But yeah, French in under the post, magic stuff. Next set. From that, Wigan's forwards laid an amazing platform. Singleton, who'd looked knackered after when Wigan were defending for 20 minutes, then all of a sudden had this second wind. Great carry from him. Great carry from Smithies. Great carry from Bateman with a late offload. Wigan get to the last tackle near the sticks, and instead of going for a kick, they actually pass it to Liam Byrne, halfback extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Who slips in a lovely ball for Singleton to power onto and go in and score under the post. Again, Gaskell nowhere to be seen with any even consideration of an attempt at a tackle. Not long after that, Liam Farrell made a break, offloaded it to Jay Field, who sped up the field and then put French away, possibly a forward pass, to be honest. But it was all of a sudden 18-4. Then even Abbas Miski managed to show enough pace to get in and score a try. And it was all over by half-time, really. The sin binning was Tanganoa. He should have scored right on sort of about a minute before half time. He should have scored. Young Lewis Murphy on the wing had made a break, popped the ball back inside, but it just didn't hit Tanganoa's hands. It bounced off his chest, I think, or off his shoulder, and then it ended up running out for a 20-metre restart. But instead of letting the Wigan player pick up the ball, Tanganoa in his frustration kicked the ball away. But because it delayed the restart, the ref sin-binned him, which is kind of what happens, unfortunately. But what that then just meant was 10 minutes of Wigan having an extra player, but just the Jay Field show for 20 minutes. Cameos from Harry Smith and Kay Cust in that. But, Miller scored a nice breakaway try when Wigan had taken off all their fast players and had, Halsall at fullback. I don't think he's ever played there before. Shorrocks was in the centres. That was not a place for him to stay. I think they figured that out after this break. But yeah, and then Singleton scored a second try. Powerful Wigan forward pack display. Cade Ellis back in the side. He was good. What I would say is Wigan's forward pack have competition for places, and that was evident in this performance from them all. But they still lack one thing, and that's they're not as good as Alex Walmsley.
Yeah.
Sadly. And until one of them is, we're not as good as Saints. But 50 points on Easter Monday was happy days.
Yeah, I mean, that is a phenomenal result, especially when you think, Wigan were involved in one of the two derbies on Friday.
Yeah, you'd have thought Wakefield were the team who played a day less turnaround. You would have.
Yeah, and the brutality at which the match. Those matches on Friday were played as well.
Yeah, and although Wigan brought Ellis back in for Partington and Harry Smith started instead of Luluai because he was injured and we don't know the extent of his injury yet. Hopefully it's not going to keep him out past next week. All fingers crossed on that. But Harry Smith was decent, 9 from 9. Most of them were from right under the sticks, but he scored one from each touchline as well. And Sam Household came in for Willie Ice. So there was only 3 changes from the side for Wigan. So it wasn't like they had wholesale resting going on either. There was players who had to play both games because we've got a couple of forwards who are a bit banged up and stuff. But yeah, we were good anyway.
Yeah.
It wasn't as tense as your game that we're going to talk about now. So it was Hull FC 12, Warrington 12 at half time, but it finished 18-16 to Hull FC with a late winner. 9,726 were there to see it. Chris Kendall was the referee. Sarah, in terms of the team stats, this surpassed the 90-minute game for total meters, with the highest total for a single game this season, 3,188, and the split of that was very close, 1,580 to 1,608. Wire edged it by 28 meters.
Wow.
Wyatt, yeah, I know. Wyatt also edged meters per carry by 0.3 meters in a game that, again, had the highest overall average gain so far this year, 8.8 meters per carry. Highest average gain, that's another Easter Monday stat, I feel like. But Wyatt made more errors and conceded more penalties, as well as having a worse team tackle success rate. Individually, Jamie Shaw with a try, 181 metres and 2 clean breaks. Jake Connor with a try assist and 176 metres. Carlos Tumavavi with 149 metres. And Jordan Johnston, 1 try assist and 48 tackles. For the losing Wire side, some big metre numbers nonetheless. Mike Cooper, 183 metres. Josh Thewlis, 1 try assist, 161 metres. Peter Matautia, 158 metres. And Darryl Clark, 1 try and 153 metres. Quite a few fan views in on this one, Sarah. There's some that you can see and a few that came in late, but do you want to start us with the first one that you can see?
Yep, so Mark W says, Maud barges over and is held up, but manages to Ryan Atkins' way into the reward of the winning try. The Sky team tried to inexplicably give Connor the credit for it, and then a banned player gets man of the match. He's not banned yet, though, is he, Mark? Innocent until proven guilty. This, ladies and gentlemen, is peak rugby league.
Did make me laugh, even though, point taken. Page said, well, that was an improvement on Friday. Team that played for the full 80 and didn't give in. Brad Fash had an absolute stormer of a game. We need a bit of luck, and the rub of the green just went our way at the end. A very important and much needed 2 points. Bring on the French.
Yep. Rich Owen said, good effort for the boys today and unlucky to lose. Wasn't sure about Hull's winning try being given. Surely you've got to be 100% sure when it's so pivotal in the game. Oh well, Huddersfield next up. Come on the Wire.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk in a bit more depth about that try in a minute. EFC78JU said, not that bad of a game today. It would have been better if Chris Kendall wasn't cheating and giving tries that are not even tries. It should have ended 16-12 to Warrington. Ben Curry should not have gone in for that tackle and let it follow up with the opening Hull FC try. He should have let them go past him and do well played, boys. And RFL does a favour and not put Chris Kendall in another Wire match ever again.
Wow.
Gosh, have the Warrington Guardian done an article yet?
That'll be tomorrow's headlines.
Always in Our Shadow said, as sure as night follows day, Wire loses and Darryl complains about the rules. Kendall poor for both sides, but FC hung in tough after gifting tries. Never seen an entire team with backs to the play before. Win, well, he didn't watch the highlight of the Wakefield try. Win, Shaw and Brad, Nash all worked hard. Still not convinced by Gale, but at least he made the kick this time. General kicking game, very poor, but fuck it, a win is a win. And Esther said, we still make mistakes, but lots better effort. The ref upset both sets of fans, so maybe he did okay, but maybe not. Team fought to the end, which was good, though, at 12-16. Thought we would get beat. Joshua's granddad said, not for the faint-hearted, but a win's a win. Gifted Wire points to keep them in it, but big effort from some of the unsung players. Fash, Shaw, Brown. Got us over the line just. The usual hot and cold show by Mr. Kendall. I mean, shall we start with some of the officials' calls then, whilst it's been talked about so much more than any of the players seem to have been talked about.
Yep.
Right, the sin bin and penalty on Ben Curry.
I think it was harsh.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Was the general feeling at the time that it maybe could have been considered as a penalty try if he'd pulled him back?
Nah.
Right, everyone thought it was a bit harsh.
Yeah, I mean, possibly a penalty, but a sin binning seemed way over the top.
I think when it's that close to the line, that's why it's a sin binning, I think, because I do think the actual pullback came just after the ball had already gone past Lane, so Lane wasn't going to take it in, but the ref, it's a split second thing in it. I don't think the ref could be certain on that, but I think he could be confident enough that it didn't look like Lane was going to catch it anyway to make it a clear-cut scoring chance, but I also think he did pull him back a yard out, and you can't say that he wouldn't have influenced the play down the way a bit more. So I kind of think it was the right call.
Interesting, yeah. So again, I mean, this was at the far end to us. So it's very difficult to. It's a lot easier to judge if that sort of thing's straight in front of you, isn't it? Rather than the other end. And okay, you can watch the replays, but it's not the same.
No.
But obviously from seeing it live, couldn't see anything because it's a melee of bodies going for it. On the video ref, it just looked like a pullback, but a bit sort of neither here nor there, really. I thought it was a harsh call to sin bin him, but
fair enough. The next thing I've got notes about was I wondered if anyone flared up about the quick tap, because you can't have quick taps off offside penalties, but you can tap them. And like I say, last night I was watching these games back whilst I was doing bits for the show, but I was trying to pay attention to this one as well to make notes on it. But the first time I had to rewind it because I was checking if it was a quick tap, and it wasn't. It wasn't even a quick tap, was it? There was quite a few seconds gone by. He'd blown for the penalty, then walked forward and given the mark, and then there was the tap, and the whole players were pretty much all 10 metres back, but all facing the wrong way. They just hadn't switched on at all at the concept that it might not have been a kick to touch.
I think that's what it was. They'd all just decided, this position you kick for touch. Brain dead.
Good work by Clark, though. We've got to, say that. And it was a distance out. He had to get past everyone, and he did. So well done to...
But they didn't even react when the referee blew his whistle again.
No.
Not one player turned round at that point and thought, I wonder what he's blowing his whistle for. Absolutely.
That's the point. That's the point I was making. It wasn't even a quick tap because he'd given the full mark, and yeah.
And that was coming towards us. Everyone was screaming at them. I mean, why would you turn your back?
Yeah, no. Fash got man of the match on Sky. I don't know if you picked that up from being at the ground, but
we saw him heading off to the board. Yeah.
I think a large part of that was from that. He put in one incredible monster hit on. I can't even remember which wire player it was now. Maybe it was Philbin. I can't remember. But he put in an amazing hit, and then not long after that, I think, was when he scored his try, didn't he? Run a really decent line off Luke Gale. It looked like Luke Gale was telling him where to stand, and then before Luke Gale took the kick, he spent ages telling Brad Fash about how he was so amazing, telling him where to stand, and that's why he scored. That I thought, get over yourself a bit, Luke.
Yeah.
You can do that sort of stuff in the video review after. You don't need to do it on the field when you've got an important kick to kick that you've been missing recently.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I think Brad Fash is one of these players that goes unnoticed most weeks.
Do you think that's why he's got such a shit haircut, so that people notice him?
I don't know. Why? Just why?
I don't know.
He if only if he was 6 inches taller, and he'd be an amazing player, but he never gives less than 100%, and whether that's 100%, biting or 100, he's a committed player, and he always plays well. He's the one there making the tackles. He's the one there, driving the ball in when other people can't be bothered.